Hey guys, today I wanted to try out these acrylic gouaches by Liquitex. I was kind of really into acrylic gouache because I liked the idea of an acrylic opaque paint that also dried flat. So that means it doesn't dry shiny. And you can see that I've been using these, especially for Patreon stuff. So if you are in the Patreon sketch club, you've already seen me use this. Anyway, so let's just talk about these. I got 3 colors. It took me so long to pick my colors because I was just like, I don't want to be boring and just get primaries. I should get cute colors for once, and then I didn't. Because I thought, well, I should probably actually just get primaries because then I can just make any color I want, and they have a good sized bottle, and you can buy them individually. I don't have to buy a set. I bought these at a local art supply store. I think that these were $11 a bottle, which is like for an acrylic paint seems kind of like a lot. I think a lot of people think that it's really expensive, but then you look at each one of these bottles is, I want to say $7 a tube, and this is 20 milliliters, but this is almost 60 milliliters, so this is literally 3 times the size of this, but it's only a few dollars more. So I've already played with these, so I already kind of know how I feel about them, so I'm just going to do this kind of live action. And I'm just going to talk about it. The only thing that I don't particularly like about these, like I do and I don't, and that's the bottle design. I like that they're big. I like that, so they have these weird nozzles, and it looks like you can cut these down to suit your needs, which is really cool. I think they're meant to be used like this, which I don't. I just put it here. I like this. It's unlike the pop-off caps, you don't get dried crud gluing them shut, which is nice. I like that. The thing I don't like about it though, is that these lids also screw off like you would expect, but there's not very many threads. It's so small, so there's only like a row or 2 of threads. So you can open it up and get in there when it gets low. Really cool. But yeah, it only has 3 rows of threads. So what happens is when I'm opening it, so I end up accidentally twisting the thing off, and because it comes off, like this part twists off so easily, and this comes off not as easily, so I have to really yank on it. It might get better after some use, but my natural inclination is to twist as I'm pulling so the whole thing comes off. That's the only thing that I don't like about the design of this bottle. That's it. So yeah, so you get a little bit goes a long way with these, which is good. So I really just kind of wanted to just live play with things, and they are kind of transparent. I don't really like how transparent they ultimately are. They're just like any other acrylic paint where opacity sort of changes. But the thing that I do like about it is that it is so darn smooth. So smooth. It just glides on. And you can easily do this and not get a lot of brush strokes. Like, it just looks really satiny. Look at that. There's no brush strokes on that. And by that I mean like the raised kind. Like, I feel like I could actually, like, I wish that watercolor grounds and gessos went on like this. How many times have you gessoed something and then tried to paint something over it, but getting that awful gesso texture that you didn't want? I think that's why I like these so much. It's really fun to apply it. I don't know. I don't use a whole lot of acrylic paint, so I don't know if this is really that groundbreaking. I guess someone might be interested to know what the coverage is like. I suspect it's not that great. So star. Let's see who's blue, because I have a lot of it here. Whoop. Yeah, so you can definitely see through it. It's just like any other acrylic paint, I guess. I would compare this to the Liquitex Basics, to be honest. I wonder if that's what this is. I wonder if this is just a flat drying Liquitex Basic. Of course, white usually changes that, right? So, always using the white. Always. Add a little bit. Probably helps a little bit with the opacity. Most acrylics dry a bit darker than you want them to, so you're more likely to add white no matter what. Yeah, it helps a lot. But it's still there. You know, it's still there. I kind of like layering, so it works okay for me. This blue over this orange, that's a good idea, right? Nice rich dark color there. I don't know, I just think it's really relaxing. Notice I'm not washing my brush, and so I'm very slowly getting mud as time passes. That's my style, man. I'm lazy. But look at this green I made by accident. I also like scratching it with the back of the paintbrush. Makes interesting marks. Okay, so this is like the first and only time I'm gonna say this. I'm just gonna throw out a not spawns message to this. I think it's just I hate when YouTubers say that, when they pick up something like, oh, I love this thing, I bought it, not spawns, but I wish it was. It's such a common thing. Okay, here's the thing. The default expectation is that it's not a sponsored product. That's the reason why if you are sponsored by a product, you say that this was sponsored by. I don't know why it's just like a little pet peeve of mine. I hate disclaimers on videos sometimes. It's like even if it was sponsored, even if Liquitex had sent this to me to review, I'm not going to just like make up a lie or anything. If I don't like it, I'm not gonna like it. Cute. I just really love, I don't know what it is about these colors, I just really love the way it looks. I don't know if it's just, I don't know if it's different from just a good acrylic paint, because I haven't really been messing with acrylic paint that much now. If I had these when I was in college, I think I would be so happy. I'd be so happy. Like, I don't know, the layering qualities of this. And how much of this is the actual quality of the matte finish? Like how much of the appeal of this is dedicated to the matte finish? Or is it just like the very smooth application? Like I'm not getting a lot of raised brush strokes except for on these little edges here. Let's get rid of that. I hate that. Some people, ooh, what did I do there? That was cool. See, sometimes texture works in your favor. That's cool. Let's do some more of that, actually. and let that dry. Maybe do some more over here, see if I can do that again. Usually start with a paintbrush with not a lot of paint on it, so it's kind of dry, otherwise it just sinks in. So if you lay it over top, it sort of only catches on the raised bits, which there aren't a lot of because it's so smooth. Wow. Cool. There's something about yellow that just completes an image for me. Like, I get really upset if my paintings don't have yellow in them. It sounds really weird, but... I like this section here because it's really bright. How can I get more of that? Ah, maybe I can't now. Maybe it's over. See, look how I struggle a little bit with the caps. I'm sad. I bet not very many people would complain about that. Just me. Boop, boop, boop. Pushing it, aren't I? Let's mix it with white so that it's not so weird. Okay. Maybe I can make a nice teal with this. I feel like it's just gonna make it ugly. I can't get it. Ever seen those paintings those huge paintings people make, and they paint it with materials like these, like acrylic paints and collage, and they go hog wild, and then they take grinders and they grind it down so that you can see layers underneath it? I love those paintings so much. I love them so much. So if you were to grind this down, you'd find yellow under it. It's exciting! Like this. But better. See, this section was really cute before and then I ruined it. Yeah, suck. It's really hard to just use a little bit of color. So I guess you get your $11 worth out of these for sure. Ooh. But yeah, they're not really super opaque. Of course, it's blending in with the layers underneath it and making a mud. I think it behaves a little bit like watercolor in the sense that the white underneath the color makes it so much brighter. Like this yellow is so much brighter because you can still see the paper under it. You can also use these paints directly, like so, if you wanted to waste a lot of paint. Look at that. Don't know why I did this. This is just looking a little bit dark to me. I'm obscuring the heck out of everything. And I don't know, I think this is from the paintbrush. See, this pink, my paintbrush is dirty. Well, here we go. That was a lot of paint. It goes pretty far. guess I don't really know why I'm making this video. I know that there's a lot of people who are just kind of like on the fence about this stuff specifically. I was all for it because I'm sort of still currently in a gouache kick. But if you already have like acrylic paint, some people are just like, is it worth getting these? Like, what is the point? Like, what's the difference between an acrylic gouache and acrylic paint? And it's really just a difference in finish. Although that's assuming that all acrylic paints can be as smooth as this, because I don't remember having an acrylic paint experience quite like this before. Like this kind of like the way that it just spreads. Like, look how much I covered with that little bead of paint. You know? Maybe I can scrape some stuff. Scrape. Sick. Groovy. Nice. Yeah, paintings were just like the... Whoa, that dried fast. Sick. You put it on and you grind it off. It's kind of neat. Looks kind of aged, I guess. Now it looks like some kind of Sonic the Hedgehog level. Or something. I also appreciate that you can actually get very small amounts out of the bottle through that nozzle instead of, you know, when you get the pop-off lids and then you go splurt and then you end up with this giant too much paint and then you waste it. Hate that. I'm gonna do some trees here. It's no longer non-representational art. It's got trees. Sort of. These look terrible. Sometimes you gotta keep going and sometimes you regret keeping going. Maybe it just needs to be more saturated. I don't know. Cute. I don't really like these things going on in the background. These blue things. It's not a very nice blue. It's an ugly blue. I still really like this section the most. I will never be able to get that back. Over here, I mean. I'm just playing around. Ain't that feeling you get when you really kind of like where something's going and then you feel too afraid to mess with it too much? Yikes. These kind of make me, I'm imagining Mario World clouds when I'm doing these stripes. There's something wrong with my camera battery. It keeps dying really fast. Either that or it's taking me a lot longer to do this than normal. I'm changing these to autumn trees. Green is not doing it for me. So I just dripped a little drop and I saw that the paint underneath was reacting. So I'm going to see if that actually is a thing. Does this react when I spray water on it? It might just be when it's already still kind of wet. See, these trees are reactivating and bringing out more yellow. I just wanted to know if there's any other place where it's gonna come up if I get it wet. I can definitely remove a little bit of the topmost layer doing this. It's not super, oh, look at that. See, it works on the white. Look at that. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, look at the tree. This is a cool effect. I was not expecting this. It just happened by accident. That looks so cool. Guys. That looks so cool. Can you see that? Hold on. Where these trees are wet, I don't know if I have any more. Look at that, like little bits of the outer layers coming off, and so I'm getting holes. That's cool. I like this effect. This is very useful to me. I mean, this could just be a regular acrylic paint thing, but I've never actually done this before. I think some art journalers do a similar thing to this. It's not working so much on the first few layers, just the ones that are on top of other layers. This one's still kind of wet because I just put it on. But that's cool! I'm going to do more of that. I want holes. I want Swiss cheese upper layer. What if I painted over this whole thing? I won't, but I might test it later. Painted over the whole thing with one flat layer of color and then removed it like with a stencil or something. Jeez. I mean, a lot of you hardcore art journals are just like, psh, duh, but I'm having fun. It doesn't really work on the really old layers because there's only the only thing underneath this is the paper, so it's probably quite stuck to the paper, but if it's sticking to itself, I guess it's not as sticky. Yeah. Ooh, look at that. That's so cool. That is a cool effect. Okay, that's cool. So I'm gonna go well beyond the point of this video and I'm going to see if I could rub a layer off using a stencil and some rubbing alcohol. This is a silly idea and will probably not end very nicely, but I gotta know. Oh, but this part I like right now. I'll do this little corner. Very cool. I don't know if I can get the actual shape of the stencil. This cannot be good for the paper under it. Jeez. I know I've pretty sure I've seen people do this. Like, gosh, I can't remember. Like Donna Downey probably does this a lot. And I'm just being a total noob right now, but ew. It's cool though. Okay, hold on. Use with extreme caution, guys. Probably not good to inhale this. Okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's kind of gross where the color didn't quite come up, or at least it got pushed or something. Look at that. Could be better. I might try it over here where it's kind of flat and boring. Meh, okay. So this is more or less what it looks like when it's dry. Close up on that. very non-shiny. It's sort of, I guess you would call this a satin finish, maybe. It's actually really quite flat. It doesn't really build up a lot of thick layers. You saw me do multiple layers on this, and it's still pretty flat. It's really nice. I like it. I'm probably gonna keep working on this with other media like gel medium and just adding different stuff, maybe stamping, and maybe turn this into some collector cards, because otherwise I don't really know what else I'm gonna do with it. It's kind of a weird shape, but yeah, I hope that this video was somewhat interesting or useful or entertaining. Maybe answered a few questions about whether or not you think it might be worth trying out. I will see you in the next video. Bye.